All right. Welcome in, everybody. We are live again Monday night. My name's Malcolm Walker, if you don't know me, and we're live. So, let's do some housekeeping real quick. Always like to make sure everything's working good. Got a good stream going. Get some time for people to filter in. There's the announcement. Oh, from my. Get rid of that. Shows we're live. See, make sure it's sounding good. Oh, no. Get a couple things out of the way here, real quick. Give me 1 second here. Make sure everything is working the way it's supposed to be working. All right, save that. Make sure this is all set. If you're here, hit the comments. Let me know you're here. See, maybe even join in on the live if you know me or you've been in the comments before. I usually will let people in live. Gotta be careful. Sometimes people are a little creative with people's live streams, so we gotta watch out for that. All right. Give some time here for the notifications to go out. We will get this thing underway. Oh, yeah, that's right. Gonna save this. All right. Almost there. Make sure we got last couple things set. Make sure the audio sounds good. If you're in here, let me know in the comments if the audio's got some issues or anything weird going on. Sounds good to me. So, all right, close that guy out. Close that out. All right, I think we're good to go, guys. We are ready to set this thing off. So, as some of you may already know, we got a new lens this last week. And that new lens is going to be a unique lens, and I think a lot of brands are going to copy it. Uh, Sony wasn't the first one to introduce this 28 to 70 f2. Canon made that one out, but they did make the 50-150 f2 telephoto lens that basically replaces your four major prime lenses. And that's a bargain considering the price of the lens if you can actually justify replacing those four lenses with this one. So definitely something to look at. What we're going to want to do here is I'm going to jump into the Sony Alpha rumors. Haven't been in there, right? So let's go see what's new there while people filter in, see what's going on. Let's go share the screen. Let's go right here, share. All right, Sony Alpha rumor, guys. We're going to start from the top. Let's go back a little bit here. Did I mess that up? Maybe. Buzzing through stuff. All right, page 5. Let's start there. Go work our way up. All right. So a couple new lenses actually. One I haven't covered on this channel yet is the 400 to 800. Got a review there. We won't look at other people's stuff. We'll go hop into that here shortly. New major update on the Shutter Sony camera remote app. Now I haven't used this app. Has anybody out there been using this app? I haven't had any chance to play with it. Um, there's a leaked image of the 5150. We know about that one already. Got some Amazon. Interesting. Let's see here. Sony wins multiple TIPA awards, but there's a catch. Basically everything in there, it looks like. Let's see what else we got here. First ever Sony $200 discount on the A7C2. You know, I will say that the A7C2, I think I would pick up the R model personally, but it's I really miss the rangefinders of my 6000 or the 6400 for photos, and I think I'd like to have something full frame that's like that. Um, I don't know. It's something that I think I would enjoy. I have shot the A7R R2 at a Sony event, but I haven't had it in the real world yet. Got some deals going on lenses here. We got $100 off the 100 400 GM, $100 off the 200 to 600. I mean, pretty much all of these things got deals. $200 off the 24 105G. It's pretty common sale price on that one. $200 off the 2470 GM. I remember the guys early on. Sony never discounted the GM lenses. Now we've got one, two, three, four of them on discount right now. So it's pretty good deal. Bodies get $400 off the R5, $500 off the A4. That's a smoking deal. A7S3 still holding some value, $300 off. 6600 A for $200 off. Okay. Another leaked image. Review of the Viltrox 35 F12. It's got a kind of a LCD display on it. Interesting. Sony's best camera ever. I don't know what that's about. What do we got here? Let's head up here and see what else we got. Hey, we got a new update for the A7S3. I did not see this one. What do we get? What do we get added here? Let's see. Auto target recognition and dynamic active stabilization. Custom LUTs for the A7S3. Shooting and playback function supports the right digital signature. Installation of paid license is required for use. Excuse me. You can add a shot marker while shooting or playing the movie. Use it as a mark for the selecting, transforming, or editing the movie. It allows you to use focus magnifier, auto magnifier, and magnifunction while using bright monitoring. Adds a golden ratio grid option to the grid line types. Gave it quite a bit. Allows custom key setting on AEL and the delete button during playback. Do some new Creators app upgrades. Allows notifications displayed on the latest software available for your camera. The security IPsec functionality is no longer supported. Please enable the access authentication. Fixes the issue detail features does not work in picture profile set to S tone. And got kind of the same things in A7CR and the C2. The framing stabilizer, which automatically adjusts the recomposition of a tracked subject. So that's something that I think the ZVE 10 came out with. The shot marks, add your shot mark, focus magnifier, auto magnifier, and manual focus while using the bright monitor. Golden ratio grid, same kind of stuff. All right, well. And here's the announcement for the 51.2. We're going to get back into this lens. I did watch Geraldine Dunn's video review on it. Very, very impressed with that lens. There's a bunch of them. Much more. We'll get back to that. Well, Sony has registered one more camera in Asia. Now we have a one FX and one Alpha E mount camera coming soon. Oh, so we got a new FX camera coming. This is likely to be the new FX or cinema camera for April. Well, it was registered April 21st, registered April 4th in Japan. The new A7 V. Hmm. Shoe at the lowest prices ever. I should have bought the 75 millimeter Suri. I could have got it for like $190 or something. It was crazy. So I've got this one here, the Siri 24 millimeter 2.8 anamorphic, and I've got the 50. I really do like both lenses. They are manual focus lenses though. Right. Some new Type A cards coming out at reasonable prices. That's not bad. 480 for 159. That's something I'd consider. There's the deal for the A7C too. 15% off Think Tank. I run both my main bags of Think Tank, guys. I really like them. I've had the one 8, 9 years now, and it's like has had zero wear on it, carrying all the stuff all the time. Tariff effect. Sony 400-800G lens price increases from $28.99 to $35.99 on Amazon. That's would be interesting to see what. Let's go. We'll go check some prices out on Sony's website and see what they say. More enthusiastic Sony 50 to 150 YouTube reviews. Let's see. You can pre-order them. Go last page here. See what we got. A super deal. $400 off the Sony A6100, 1650, and 55-210 kit sold by Amazon. Now, I started out with this kit, guys. I think I got it right around $600 for the A6000 with those two lenses, and it's a great starter set. Anytime you get that thing around the 600, 690 mark, I think I had some coupons and stuff that helped bring it down at the time. That is a great starter kit if you're wanting to get into this if you're not already into it. Sigma's new 200 millimeter f 2.0 lens will be announced before summer. Excuse me. Let's see. I think we're about at the bottom of it here. Coming soon is Ultrax 50 f1.4 Pro lens. It's a nice looking lens. There's a lot of lens options out there. So they're saying the new price. We're going to go look at that. We're going to go see if the price on that thing's gone up that much. That's nuts if it has. It makes me sad I haven't bought it before. Adapting vintage industrial 69 lens to your mirrorless camera. Okay, well, I've got some experience adapting lenses. We might talk about that a little bit here. All right, guys, let's get this one off the screen and get back into it. So Sony's released the new 50 to 150 f2 telephoto lens. It's a lens that nobody's made before, so it's a brand new setup lens on that. And what are your guys' thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments if you feel that lens is something you'd be interested in. Is $38.99, I think the price tag on it. Is that too much, or is it right? There's a couple different ways to look at that price point on that particular lens. And let's go look at this lens real quick here. Let's jump in it and see what it's all about, because I haven't even been there on that end of it yet. So hit me up in the comments. Bring your questions, your thoughts about this lens. This Sony continues G Master innovation with the 50-150 f2 zoom lens. This is off B&H's website, guys. So what are your thoughts on this? Are we going to see a new trifecta of f2s? Are they going to have we got the 2870 f2, we got the 50-150 now. Are we going to see something like a 15 to 30 f2 or something along those lines to complete this thing? Or do you think they'll run a, I don't know, like a 1650 even? I mean, is that something that we would like to see? I think we've got too much coverage on the same area if they do like a up to 50 millimeter. Um, Obviously, I'm sure there was a bunch of design challenges they had with this one, getting it to go 150 f2. It's all internal zoom, about the same length as a 7200 2.8. But I, I personally, I really like this lens. I mean, to me, it replaces essentially four lenses. You can replace your 50 1.8, your 85 1.4 1.8, your 135, um, and what's the other one out there? Like a 105, if you had a 105 lens, or a 90 millimeter. I mean, it can replace quite a bit of your kit for that 38.99. Um, I personally think we're going to see wedding photographers go all over this lens because, one, they can have both bodies, one on the 28-70, one on the 50 to 150, and they're set. I mean, I know a personal preference. Some people are really going to like that 200 push, but I mean, at f2 and on a A7R 5 body with 61 megapixels, or an A1 with 50, you've got the option to crop in considerably and still get a decent image at 150. So is 200 even necessary if that's the case? To me, it makes perfect sense that this would replace a lot of prime shooters, kit with this one lens. Now you're talking about if a lot of kit there for a wedding photographer. If you're buying a $3,900 lens, you're going to attach it to either the A1, which is at least 5 grand, or an A7R5. That's what, 4 grand. So you're at basically $8,000 for one camera setup. The other 28 to 70 is I think 3 grand. The f2. So that lens on another, say, matching A1 body, you're sitting at another 8 grand or so, and you would essentially have what, 18 $16,000 hanging off of you plus accessories. So it's a lot of kit there, but you wouldn't have to be switching lenses. You could essentially do it all with those two bodies set up with that. Another aspect of this lens that I think a lot of people haven't thought about is the beginning entry level into serious astrophotography. Because if you're doing any kind of long exposure tracked shooting, you're going to want to have a fast prime lens on there, and primes get obviously much more expensive when you get to 400 or the 200s 300s to shoot deep sky nebulas, stuff of that nature. Now this opens up quite a bit of sky for you, Andromeda shots, local nebulas, relatively easily with a $400 or $500 tracker. And you got a $4,000 lens that's very pocketable if you're an astrophotographer, I think, um, along with not having to have these big giant $6,000 or $8,000 lenses to lug around. This thing's fairly compact in regards to what it is. So I would see it as a good opportunity to get into astrophotography with something like this lens. If you are shooting it or wanting to, it's a great beginner option, I think, for that setup. Let's see here. Let's go look down here on some specs of this thing. Let's see. Where's the take me to their actual page? I guess for it. There we go. So you can pre-order this guy right now if you wanted. Um, let's take a look at some photos of this thing. There it is. Got the metal plate on it even for the logo, which is a really big step up into that serious, telephoto lens world. I'm surprised it doesn't have. They didn't put like the serial number on that plate. It's probably still on the little sticker on the bottom. Lens hood with lens screw accessories. We do have. It comes with a neck strap. That's good. 95 millimeter filter element though on this thing, so it's pretty beefy on that regard. So filters are definitely going to be an issue for that. Let's get down here. What do we got for glass? Now this thing's loaded with glass. We got two extreme aspherical elements, two aspherical elements, two super EDs, and three ED extra low dispersion glass. I don't know about you guys, but all these lens data charts are just like pegged to the top nowadays when they stop, especially when they go down to f8. I mean, there's not much left to see. Got some sealing methods in it. Got the four linear motors for focusing. What do we got for specs on this guy? Let's click on some specs for it. If you have any questions or thoughts on this lens, hit me up in the comments. F2 to F22. Minimum focus distance from camera sensors 1.3 feet on the wide end and 2.4 feet on the telephoto. That's maximum magnification is only at 0.2. Macro reproduction ratio is 1 to 5. Yeah, that's 20%. So not. I mean, my 100 to 400, I think had a 0.33, so it's a little bit better for macro. This one's doesn't look like it'd be as good for that. 19 elements, 17 groups. We got an 11 blade rounded diaphragm. This lens did not come with stabilization. That's something one of the differences you'll have from the Sony 200 to this lens is it doesn't have the stabilization. Now with most new bodies, especially the A1, the A12, the new A7R5s, I think they're coming with like 8 stops of in-body image stabilization on the sensor. So, you know, they can do without it. I think it's very impressive what the A7R2 can do with image stabilization in body, along with the conjunction with the lens, like a 100 to 400. It was pretty impressive. So, not a whole lot of information at this time on it, but it's a nice looking lens. So, I don't know. Let me know. Would just something you guys would want? Would you consider buying it? Where would you guys be at with this lens currently? If it's something that you would see yourself wanting to have or shoot with. Turn this down just a smidge there. All right. So, with this lens, the 28 to 70 f2, Sony's definitely hitting something out of the park as far as what can be brought to the table. Um, it's an impressive lens as far as its ingenuity and I think this really shows Sony's innovative side as far as going for something different. And I think there's a big calling for something like this in these modern cameras. So modern sensors are much more adept to capturing the image. They have better noise, better low light, better uh, sensitivity, I guess was the word I'm looking for. And they can really grab in, a lot more detail. So having the standard lenses that everybody's known for all the years, makes sense, of course, for most people. But this is giving you something totally different, and you don't need 200 millimeter with these high res cameras. You can just crop it in a little further. Now you may have a difference in focal length opinion as far as what it can do to facial structure or your image itself, as far as the you know telephoto effect of a lens. But for most things, this thing's going to be, work just fine at 150. I know I haven't wanted a new lens. Even the 28 to 70, I was like, "Ah, I don't have a reason for that lens." But this lens is actually makes me want to, invest in something like this because I have so many ideas and uses for it. Plus, I mean, essentially, it would replace uh, at least my 85 millimeter prime. That's a chunk of money toward it right there. But there's a lot of options for a lens like this and what it could offer. So definitely, like I said, let me know what your thoughts are on it. That's something I think it's a great idea that Sony's come out with. I'd like to see, what do you think the trifecta would be? Is you think they would make a ultra fast wide zoom? I mean, they've already made the 1635, 2.8 and a they Mark II, I think, didn't they? Did they Mark II that one already? I'm gonna have to look. I can't even remember. Let's see here. Yeah, they did. They made the Mark II of that lens, and when we see, I think it'd be cool to find a 15 to 30 f2. A 1535 would be great if they could do it. I know Canon made it to 1535, I believe, on their newest RF mount lens, but I would like to see something like that. So definitely, let me know what you think. I think it's a great. Uh, it's great to see what might be coming around the next corner with Sony and what they can do with it. I think all the brands right now are really doing well. I mean, I think Nikon's acquisition with Red is going to be a big contender in the next year as it starts filtering that technology into their cameras. The lenses, I hope Nikon really starts. I know they have some really good glass up there. I know there's some Nikon shoots up there to tell you that's the best glass, but there's I think a lot of potential there. Let's see here. Remove that. Come back on with you guys. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the future holds with these lenses. Um, the next camera body release is probably going to be the A7R5, or I'm sorry, not the A7V. It seems like just yesterday the A7R, I keep saying the R, A7 IV just came out. I didn't see much of a need to want that camera. I do really want a new A7R5, and that's the first camera, the R camera, that's come out that's made me want to replace my R2 because it solves one major issue. That's the looking under the camera in portrait mode, like for astrophotography, be able to flip the screen out and see it. That's what I love about the pop-out camera on the FX30 that we're currently seeing me on. The screen flips around. It works great for that portrait flip out, but you lose a lot of the tilt functionality out of it as well, and that can be very handy. And I don't like always stabbing the monitor out, stick out to the side. So I see a lot of potential for both styles, and I think that new lens style or that new camera monitor mount, we're going to see it go across the board with all of them. Now, I've got the FX30 with the little 3-inch monitor, and it's one of the higher resolution monitors, 1.4 million pixels. And I had it set up to film me my last trip to Colorado, and I totally missed focus. The lens I switched it out to had the manual focus switch on. I missed it. I shot a whole sequence of out of focused material, and it really sucks because I'm going to try to use it at least for the audio. But um, the monitor, I still couldn't even tell that it was out of focus on the monitor until I put it on the laptop. So external monitors are almost necessary, I think, in video. I do miss not having a viewfinder for the FX30 at times. Uh, but the monitor on it is good looking. I'm looking at it right now. I can see myself on it, but you can't see that close focus detail. And I'm looking over here at the stream, and I can see I'm in focus. Everything looks good. I can see the little green box dancing around my face and my eyes well enough, but to know that it's at least grabbing me. But it's always interesting to see uh, how the technology advances and what we're going to see next. What new camera bodies are you looking forward to seeing coming out next? Are you looking for a new S camera, a new R camera, the A7 cameras? Are we going to see a new lineup with, like, say, a lightweight like an A5, say, something that's be more entry level friendly. I personally don't think that's going to happen, just because I think Sony's current lineup of older models hits that bar with what you can get. You can buy an A7R2. It's an 8, 9 year old camera. If you can find them new or even buying it used, it's up $1,000 now. I mean, it's a great deal. If you find a 7 III, uh, around $1,000, $1,200. I mean, that's a great deal for a great camera right there. Let's see what else is there. There's A7S III. I think we're going to see a replacement. Probably not this year, but next year. Um, the FX, that of course we just read in the rumors that there's two new bodies. One's probably the A7 V. Probably will have the new flip out monitor, and that, depending if it's the same 33 megapixel sensor, which I suspect it would be, with some minor improvements, I would imagine that it'll have the new monitor, flip out monitor design. And I think really that should be just a standard across the board for all the Sony cameras going forward, is that all cameras have that monitor design. Now, I think the A9 still didn't have it. I believe it was the A9, but it's a professional shooting camera. Like, you're meant to be behind that camera all the time, and a tilt screen is much more handy than the flip out design. So, no, like I said, let me know your thoughts on it. All right, so I'll jump into the next little segment of this video, or this live tonight, and that's, uh, sorry, I'm all congested. We had a huge, massive dust storm blow through today. It's kicking my butt now. I think I'll just take these off if I don't need them. Nobody to talk to at the moment, but the I want to show you guys let me remove this. Get in here and show it to you. Sony Community Forum. Let me get in here and show you this one. Yeah, guys. So somewhere else you can find me online is in this forum. I try to get in here a couple times a week to answer questions. I pretty much try to stick to the camcorder section. Call from home. Hold on. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. It's home. So this community forum is a Sony site, and I'm one of the Sony advocates on this forum. What that means isn't really anything special, other than I'm one of the I get Sony advocate program doesn't give me like anything special or unique. I mean, Sony's definitely taking care of me. They've given me a couple things here to try out, write some reviews on, but they did send me to CES. It's a great program for that kind of stuff. It also puts me in touch with a lot of other good and unique Sony fan and that fan base. So, but this community forum is a good place for us all to get together and communicate and look at. If you got questions about your products, how to use something, a complaint, anything like that, I encourage you to get into the Sony community forum. Let's just hop in here and take a look at some of the stuff going on. So now, as a advocate, I don't get anything. I'm not paid. I don't get anything direct from Sony. You believe what you want with that, but it's just the truth. I'm just a fan of Sony and their products. They found me because of that. It wasn't even because of the YouTube channel. They're aware I've got a YouTube channel and that I do this kind of stuff, but it's a whole another avenue of what they do. But all sorts of information can be found in here, and a lot, well as users' questions, users' concerns, anything like that. And there's a good group of guys that always answers, that are here. Let's see, I'll pop back here. So they have a ranking here. Knowledgeable people, all these guys, I communicate with regularly on. The Sony Advocate program has a lot of good potential for us to help everybody else out in the community. Member spotlight. You can find my member spotlight in here. I think it was highlighted for May. So here's April's David Anthony. You need to check him out. I haven't had a chance to read that one yet. He'll come back. Here's my member spotlight. Um, Anyways, there's a lot of good guys in this community here. Um, sure. But ultimately, it's a great spot to come bring your questions, your comments, concerns, and tell you this: Sony's looking at this heavily. They are watching it. They're listening to what people are saying, and ideas and stuff are coming forth in here from the community, from what Sony listens to their products users or their users and their end base. Listen to people and bring forth technologies that we wouldn't have otherwise. And a lot of this stems out of this forum. A lot of it comes full circle here. So I would just highly recommend that if you have a Sony product that you have an idea on, you have a way they can improve it. This is a great location to put something like that in. Uh, Share your thoughts. If, like I said, if you got a technical problem, you got a question, this is a great spot to try to find the answers with very knowledgeable people that can jump in there and hopefully help you out. If not, even the advocates like us, like myself, we have a more direct line to get some of these questions answered for you. And I try to do that with my channel. So if you're watching my channel and you have something very specific, an issue or a complaint or anything, and reach it out to me and I can forward it along. So at least know that somebody's put eyes on it for you and see what can be done for you. I know it's a big ask sometimes, but it's there. This forum can do a lot. And like I said, the biggest thing is uh, Sony's listening to this heavily. So we got just failed update questions, error message on AX53 camcorder. Um, a lot of people asking for legacy stuff. Like the older equipment and want repairs for it. But all this comes to light and gets answered or looked at, and is monitored. I will say that they are watching it closely. This was a good feed right here. Product request, a 24 to 135 f2.8. Had a lot of activity on this one, but it's just somebody asking, say, hey, this would be a fantastic option. And because it got a lot of traction, had 102 views, 11 answers. Even myself was in here giving my thoughts about it. Um, Moderators are on here talking. There's definitely this one got a lot of feedback. Something like this will get noticed and get shot up to the higher ups, and maybe we see that lens in the future because of that comment. So definitely check that community forum out, guys. It's a lot of good information there. Boy, my lights did go off in here, didn't they? Oh, it is dark in here. Computer, turn on Living Giant.
Living room doesn't support that.
No, not living room. Computer, turn on Living Giant.
Okay.
There we go. That's better. Didn't realize it went dark on me. Right, so, all right, guys, bring those questions, bring those comments and ideas to the center stage, guys. Let's get a conversation going on this stuff. What's your thoughts on that 5150? We talked about the 400. Oh, we were going to check the price on the 400 Let's go take a look at that guy real quick. 4800. Okay, it's temporarily out of stock. Let me present that screen to you guys. Share. Still $28.98 on B&H's website. Yeah, this is a lens I've thought I would want. Um, a 6.3 to f8. I mean, it's getting out there in range. F8 on my 100-400 was not enough f-stop sometimes. I had to get an f11, f13 just to get a bird in focus. So I can only imagine f8 is going to be plenty bright at 800 for what you're going to be shooting 800 for. Now, I wouldn't recommend this lens for kind of astrophotography just because 400, 800 at those f6.3, f8, you're not going to get the good star detail. Now, it will work just fine if it's tracked and you got a really good track and it's stabilized. You could definitely do long exposures at f8 and get some great, great shots. But we're talking, all night shots probably. Right. So that still hasn't changed price there. So I'm curious to see what happens here in the future. But here we've got it here. It's marked live $28.98. What other cameras or lenses are you worried about tariffs hitting on? It really just depends where they come out of. I think a lot of lenses are made out of Thailand, which I don't think had much of a change. What else? I mean, somebody's got a whole plethora of telephoto lenses now. Oh, one thing that did suck that is a problem, I think, for some people is that you can't put the teleconverters on the 5150. Now, the reason why is the lens element inside the back end would hit and impact that lens teleconverter. Let's see if I can find the picture of one on here. Um, yeah, there's just so much like this piece right here. This piece slots into the lens, and it would actually impact the back side of the glass inside it, so it's not compatible with the 5150. The another lens you guys probably don't really consider too much is the 7200 f4. They made a new one here. This thing's a fantastic, awesome lens. It's got a 0.5 magnification across the full zoom range. Even the older version, I mean, is phenomenally sharp. It works really good. I've shot with it. It's a smaller compact lens, even though it's a big white lens. It's still not as big as probably the 24 to 70s, unless it's zoomed out, of course, but it does work really well. Oh, no, I take that back. I think it's internal zoom. It's been a long time since I used it, but yeah, the 100-400 was one of the only ones that telescopes out. I've had this lens. I miss this lens. It's one of my favorite lenses ever. As far as having it on, I almost stopped shooting photography when I don't have this lens no more. So I definitely am due for a new telephoto lens. Uh, I'm kind of waiting for that new 100-400 Mark II to drop, and then maybe that's when I'll consider it. 200-600, it's just so long and big because it's all internal. What I did like about the 100-400 was how compact it was. So I'm really looking forward maybe to a 100-500. That would be fantastic. Well, let's see here what we got here. The 300-2.8. Again, this would be a great astrophotography lens for me. Definitely shoot some nebulas with 300 millimeters on long tracked exposures. But it's $6,000 lens. It's all there too. Let's see what else we got here. We got all the kits here. I mean, Sony's been updating a lot of stuff. This is another one I'd like to see them update. It's the Sony 90 f2.8 macro. Like you can see it, a 105 macro lens. But the fact that they haven't updated this lens says a lot about this lens. Is that it doesn't need it. It's incredibly good and sharp lens for what it is. and it's an old lens. It's been out for a long time now. Here's the original SETI 200 f4. This thing is also another great lens. Incredibly sharp. It's lightweight. I really do like this lens for an f4. Uh, at this point, honestly, would I want to buy it? Probably not. I'd probably look for a 2.8, maybe the original one or even the new one. But I mean, it's half the price, and there's a lot of lenses there still for half the price. So I definitely think it's a great option. There's a 600 f4 for $13,000. Let's see what else. 300 to 600. That's a Sigma new release. 300 600 f4. That's a good lens right there. A 600 millimeter f4 for $6,000. That's more than half the price of the Sony 600 f4 Prime, and it's a zoom. Obviously, it's probably going to have some shortcomings compared to the Sony, but this thing's that's a powerhouse of a lens right there. F4 to F16. But is it constant? Didn't really say. I mean, it says it in the name. It's a constant with steady shot. Constant f4, yeah. That's a big impressive one right there. 428 for $12,000. Another nice lens right there. I absolutely love 400 millimeter. I really would love to get my 100 400 back or buy another one, but like I said, it's got to be coming out. The new one's coming, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what comes. But they're replacing them all, and it's due. 100 500 Sony. I'd like to see a 100 500 replacement for that. Don't make it a Mark II. Just update it to a 100 500. 135 Prime. $2,000. I mean, that lens right there is half the cost. $2,100, more than half the cost of the 50 150. Now you can shoot 135 150 at f2 versus 1.8, and have the versatility of having 85, 70, a 50, 100, 105, 90, whatever you want. And it just seems like that's such a great bargain for the 3,800, $3,900. All right, we're getting into other stuff now. So, how about that? Yeah. So, what else is there, guys? I mean, I've got a lot of coverage there tonight. Updates in the studio. It's on standstill right now. We've got, like I said, I moved the TV behind me. I shifted this slightly for the live tonight because I was getting good reflections from the TV. I also tilted it down further, but it's working. This studio's coming together pretty nicely. I've got a monitor over there. I found an InZone 27-inch on Facebook. Still listed, but the guy hasn't responded to me. But I want to try to go get that one for my own computer monitor. So have my editing area kind of built back up. And I got some videos in the works. So new videos coming soon, hopefully. Don't sure know when I'll have it, but long story short is I went to Colorado Springs and I shot everything on film. So I've got 3 rolls of 35 millimeter I'm going to have developed, and no idea if it came out or not yet. Shot the old Zeiss Icon in the 60s. I really enjoyed shooting that camera. And if you saw my thumbnail, I'm holding that Zeiss camera in it. It's on my live pretty much every week. But all mechanical, everything works in the camera. Assuming it takes a decent image, that the pictures come out, we'll find out. It's a different way to shoot and a different mentality behind it for sure. I mean, if you haven't shot film, I grew up in film era before digital was a thing. I shot lots of photos on film, but not as like a photographer, just as somebody taking a picture. But slowing you down, making you think about the shot, and making you compose your shot a lot more, spending that time before clicking the button. It just naturally makes you do that stuff and makes it happen. And the uh, having having it all set and ready to go, and not knowing if it's really. I mean, I assume it's in focus. Looking through the viewfinder, I've got my focus guides. I'm assuming my exposure's right. It's got a little light meter in there, just barely perfect. Telling you what it's at. And then you click the button, and it just goes black, and you're like, well, find out in a little while when I get these roles developed. It's different, definitely different. So yeah, videos coming out on that here, coming soon. I would say would be the next set of stuff you see from my channel once it does come out. I was hoping to get up here and edit this last weekend, didn't get a chance to, but got a lot going on as usual. So we'll we'll see when I do get it out. But I do want to start working on that edit and get those videos going. But obviously, I have to wait a couple of weeks for the film to be developed and sent back. What are your thoughts on the film developing? If you have shot film or you have experience with it, do you just do digital scans, or would you get the photos back? I'm planning on at least getting the Zeiss photos printed to have actual hard copies of, because it's like the actual photos I took of the trip with the kids. So I want to actually have those on hard copy, but want to definitely get scans of everything else so I can edit and play with the edits and the video ideas. Is it worth shooting film or just using a new digital camera with old lenses? So I think that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.